and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jake.
And we've just been talking about how terrible the Bruins are.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was not great. However, I will tell Scott that there's no Canadian teams in the playoffs right now, so...
Shots fired. Shots fired. Sorry. I know nothing about hockey.
I think the Bruins have more playoff wins in the last 4 years than like all the Canadian teams do combined.
Oh my goodness. Again. In the chat, hi Scott. Yes, let's finish. Hopefully we will finish the season a little bit stronger than the Bruins.
Yeah, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Hi Jim. You want a disappointing loss at the last second? It might happen. You'll have to stay to the end of the show to find out. Evening, Chris. And yes, Scott also makes a fair point. Every team is made of Canadians.
Every team has some Canadians. It's not like it used to be.
Okay. So Canadians and like Norwegians.
I would say right now the best player on the Bruins is probably Pasternak, and he's from Czechia.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And their goaltender is from, or one of them is from, I think, Sweden, and one of them is from America.
Okay, right, yeah. So at least one of them's American.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Scott, settle down. I like Canada. Don't make me change my mind.
Fantastic. Welcome to episode 20. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
So the 20th episode of season 2. Which means we'll be wrapping up this evening. We'll be taking a bit of a break. We've got all sorts of stuff coming up. I've got loads of fun over the next 2 weeks. I think my daughter finishes 5th grade. My youngest daughter finishes 5th grade. My eldest daughter finishes 8th grade. So there's lots of crazy pseudo-graduation ceremonies and other activities going on. I'm turning 50.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? You wouldn't believe it. This wonderful
I don't believe it. You don't believe it?
This wonderfully youthful appearance.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
You're like perpetually 41.
41? I was thinking 17, but sure, let's go with 41.
Okay.
And we've got travel, we've got events, all sorts of stuff going on. And what's that big thing coming up towards the end of the month?
Oh, it'll be sooner than that. We got about.
Oh.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to talk about the end?
Oh dear. Okay. So you have some insider knowledge. I can tell.
I do.
You're super excited. So, yes. Let's walk our way into that.
Okay.
We won't jump straight into it now.
Fair enough.
But first up, after I read Scott's comment, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, dude. Mathematically eliminated, and next year is how I spend the last 3 weeks of the season usually. You're a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm sure. Surely it's the last 10 weeks of the season. Excellent. There we go. Jake, don't be afraid to send me the bill.
God, I will. I gotta get him set up with an account online so he can just punch it through the website. But I gotta call. He's not on yet, but I gotta call Jeff Smith. Okay. He wants a bunch of stuff too. So
make sure you make that happen.
Chris wants us to cover the 40K stuff now because he has to crash early.
Oh, okay. We'll save that till later then. Fantastic. Hobby stuff. What have you been up to hobby wise?
I'm still working on that for the Legion box. Or not Legion, Shatterpoint. It comes out on the 2nd. Okay. So we're trying to get everything ready for the 2nd. So we have it from that point through the weekend, and we'll have 2 full sets of demo stuff, 2 full sets of terrain, 2 full sets of minis. Cool. So we can do like walkthroughs and stuff. The game itself is really fun. The rules are really good. The like Chris ordered a bunch of it. The minis are awesome. It's that slightly bigger. I think it's like 36 mil. We said so. It's the same scale as like Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Okay. Yep.
The models are good. If I'm being honest, if I wanted to be nitpicky, I would say that anybody who's used to painting GW stuff, the detail on them is a little shallow.
Okay, a little bit soft.
Like, yeah, well, it's that weird plastic. It's like not really polystyrene, but it's not really like PVC either. It's like a weird mix.
Okay.
But they tell you in the instructions, build these models using plastic glue.
Yep.
But like I told you last week, like I was painting a guy yesterday, and I was pushing wash around, and I was holding the base, and I pushed the wash and snapped the guy off the base.
Right.
Which should not happen if it's polystyrene.
Yeah.
So the models are nice. The detail is good, and it's because they're bigger.
Yep.
The details just aren't super deep.
Okay.
Like right. you know, like on the Space Marine, like you see, like the eagle is really apparent, and like the skull, and all like the seams on the arm and stuff. It's much shallower than that. The details don't go as deep. So if you're hoping to just use contrast paint on them, you can, but you're gonna have to go back and like pick out some highlights, just because a lot of it's very like uniform looking.
Right.
But
cool. Just quickly, you want to say hi to Matt Bowles. He said, "Hey guys, congrats on the 2 seasons. So glad you've been able to do this so successfully."
Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you very much. I'm not sure successful is the word. Stubbornly is the way I would put it.
Yeah. Tenaciously.
Tenaciously. There we go. There's a great word. Tenacious. Fantastic. Hobby-wise, what have I been up to? I have been focused on commission stuff that I'm working on. I've got some pictures to show at the end of the show, which are a little bit kind of sneak peeky. It'll be very vague when I'm talking about them. But remember when I was working on the these buildings?
Yeah.
I talked about working on those last week. What I did on the weekend was I hit all the ones that I finished painting with a really light, sort of quick airbrush of some strong tone. We painted strong tone.
I was gonna guess like sepia, but
yeah, no, this is actually strong tone. So the Agrax Earthshade variant, but yeah, so I hit those there, and then so building like this to get that sort of weathering.
That looks good, dude. I like it.
Yeah, it just adds so much to it. It was amazing. I was just like, "Oh, this is fantastic!" So that's a great thing to think about if you're working, particularly with FDM, because as we said before, you can see the print lines on these.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just
it kind of works.
It does. Yeah. I mean, I think it looks great. It's all 15 mil terrain, which is awesome. So with those, I'm going to make sure I don't lose those bits that I'm just knocking over everywhere. Receiving things in the mail, that's like a hobby stuff, right?
Sure.
Awesome.
As long as it's hobby related.
Yeah, so this t-shirt. This is the logo, the symbol for Anna Polanszczuk's blog, Gardens of Hecate.
Okay.
So Anna was volume 3 of the Art of series, and so she put up some new t-shirt designs in her Redbubble account. And this is a really nice, sturdy shirt, which is good as a Gildan, which is one of my favorite for promotional t-shirts. But yeah, I was very happy to receive this.
Nice.
Plus another one that I've got.
I was like, it's kind of got a War of the Worlds vibe going on.
There's a bit of that. There's something interesting going on. You're talking about that tripod.
Yeah, it's like it's because you got like the saucer and then like the body with the 3 legs.
Right. I'm not sure if that's a connection, but you're right. It does have it there. But also, I received a package from Westphalia.
Okay.
Westphalia Miniatures, and it's the minis from their Morkborg Kickstarter.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And these minis are amazing.
Oh, those do look pretty good.
And the designs are spectacular, which is why I backed it. But the sculpting and look at that hand. Whoa, where is it? There we go.
There you go. You're good.
That raised hand there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
See that thumb and you can see all the fingers. Everything is amazing, and they're so finely detailed that it's just incredible. The work on these guys is just beautiful sculpting, beautiful casting.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a lot of flash on them.
Actually, that one is the only one I've seen I've seen a bit of flash on, but there's like a milepost marker.
Nice. Yeah, the first one looked really clean.
But they are beautiful. He's like a Chaos Warrior kind of dude.
Nice. Josh just jumped on. Chris just jumped on.
Excellent.
Welcome.
But yeah, absolutely beautiful stuff there. So very impressed with that. That's all. I think this whole all the Morkborg stuff was cast for them by Wormforge out of Texas. So congrats to Greg Williams and the team at Wormforge. They are some of the best resin minis that I've seen.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
They are awesome. The casting is just so spectacular. So yeah, I'm super happy with that. And as I said, there's some other hobby stuff I've been working on, but it's commissioned, so I will show it at the end of the show. Very nice. What's everybody else been working on? You said that Josh was here, Jim was here, Chris. Hello, everybody. What have you folks all been working on? Let us know. What do you want to be working on? Should we jump into that
I want to be working on my my Iron Warriors, which I've been slowly adding to.
Right.
But we had to get this done, so.
Yeah, that's fair. I think for my Iron Hands, Raven Guard, Shattered Legion army, I've got I've got 2 or 3 vehicles that I've got to do. I'm looking forward to be able to get those done, and then I'll have about 2,000 points, maybe 2,200, which will be pretty sweet. Very nice. Chris Gorka's working on a bunch of 40k characters currently. Chris, are they for you or for a commission? I saw your Dante. We've got him later in the show. Chris is still painting a plasma support squad, slowly getting it done. Is that's a 10-man plasma support? It's the way to
I'm
go.
assuming.
It's the expensive way to go, but it's certainly the way to go.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would hope so. John Roberts is working on Raven Guard. John, are you working on those for 30k or 40k? Either way, it's fine, but good. Chris Cumming is also winning against Brian Martin's Iron Warriors last Sunday. Excellent. Chris has various commissions, so I'm guessing people are getting excited about 10th edition coming soon.
Yep.
Getting their stuff done, and Chris says yes, a 10-man. Scott is painting up a GW Blood Bowl dwarf for no reason. They went unnoticed, but the armor on these is the exact same the Leagues of Votan style. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go and check that out.
You mean like how they go together?
I don't think how they go together, but possibly the armor plates, like the shoulder pads and that kind of thing. Now I'm curious. Oh, John's doing 30k Raven Guard. Very cool.
Nice. Yeah, I'm holding off on painting any more 40k stuff until 10th drops.
Right.
Because it gives me a reason to like try to plow through the heresy stuff I have.
Right.
And then once that's done, because I plan on getting the Leviathan box, and I'm just going to add that stuff to my existing army.
Right.
So.
Excellent. Well, should we jump in and talk about that now? Get it out of
the
way?
we totally can. So, I wrote an article 3 years ago. Yeah, it was for the launch of 8th or 9th. I think it was for the launch of 9th. I wrote an article that's up on, I think it's up on our website. It's also up somewhere on Bella Lost Souls.
Okay.
About all the different editions. And I did a ton of research. I did a deep dive and basically like fleshed out like the launch dates and like the backing and the differences of all the different editions. And basically every edition since I think 3rd has always been a summer release. Always. Like it's
right.
And it moves around a little bit, but it's usually within a couple of weeks of one another. So I pulled it up now just so we can kind of like look at it. So 3rd, I believe, was July. It was like it was after the 4th. It was like, I think it was like July 10th or something was 3rd edition. And then 4th came out also in the summer. I couldn't find an exact date. I remember being at GW when that launched, and I know it was a summer launch. 5th edition was July 12th. 6th edition was June 23rd. So they moved it back 3 weeks.
Right.
7th edition, they moved it back another 3 weeks, and for whatever reason that came out in May. May 24th, rather, sorry.
That's cool.
8th edition, they moved it back up, and it launched on June 17th, and we opened our store to coincide with that launch.
Okay.
Like, we did a pop-up shop for 2 weeks, and then closed and took pre-orders, and then opened our store back up for the launch of 8th. 9th was it was like right at the very beginning of July. It was like the first couple of days, and now there's all this talk about like, oh, where's 10th going to come out? So originally we had thought they were going to try to do the 17th again, because they usually like to do that 3rd week of June. They've done 4 out of the last 8 have been kind of in June. So we thought they were going to do the same thing, but then I know that the 24th is the 40th birthday of 40k.
Right.
So if I'm Games Workshop, it makes sense.
It's not the 40th birthday of 40k. It's 40th birthday of Warhammer.
Oh, okay.
40k, first edition of like Rogue Trader was 87. So
yeah,
we're still 4 years old.
So the 27th makes sense to do like something big.
Right.
To kind of like celebrate it. I mean, again, Warhammer Fantasy doesn't really exist anymore until Old World comes out, hopefully in the next year or two. But so I think that makes sense. Like it definitely, you're within 5 or 6 days of the last launch.
Right.
And I know that a lot of, having worked, so long in Fortune 500 for every company, you love to have your annual reports line up, right? Where it's like, oh, here's our numbers in December. What's that? It's Christmas. Oh, here's the next year, December. Oh, here's that spike. So you always have that holiday spike.
Yep.
So you like having that same, like, oh, President's Weekend sale the next year, President's Weekend sale the next year. So they definitely want to keep their numbers lined up so that when they look at the annual reports year after year, it matches up and it looks the same. You don't have any weird, like, I don't know if you remember this. Like when I remember when we got Lord of the Rings,
Yep.
we being Games Workshop. When Games Workshop got Lord of the Rings and they launched Games Workshop, there was that crazy spike when they dropped the Fellowship of the Ring box.
Right.
And everybody was like, "Oh my god, our numbers are nuts!" And then the next year, there was. I remember we got all kinds of flack from the regional directors because they were like, "Oh, like sales are way down," and I was like, "Yeah, because we didn't drop a new Lord of the Rings box. Like, you're going up against this huge explosion in sales."
It would have been Two Towers because the movie
It wasn't a year later. It was like
it was a year.
Was it?
Yeah. But
whatever year we didn't have a huge launch. The first year that we launched Lord of the Rings,
yep.
we had such a massive influx of people that
yep.
we didn't have that in the second year. We still had a ton of business.
It's still a ton of business, no, for sure. But I mean, when you say to somebody, "Here's the first box," and then a year later you say, "Here's the second box," the rules are basically the same. It's just some new scenarios.
Yeah,
your uptake is never going to be as big, but yeah, it was still there, but it wasn't.
But I remember hearing about it from like Sean and like all the other regional directors, and they're like, "Oh, our numbers are way off," and I was like, "Yeah, because we didn't just add a new line, like we didn't add a new product line, like yes, our numbers are not going to be the same."
Yeah.
So my gut tells me originally I thought it was going to be the 17th.
Yep.
Because I think it makes sense if they do that. That would mean that this coming Saturday, pre-orders would go. Is it this coming Saturday?
Yeah, this coming Saturday, the 3rd.
Yeah, so pre-orders would go live this coming Saturday, and then it would come out on the 17th. But I honestly think it's going to be they'll go live on the 10th, and then we'll have 2 weeks of pre-orders. Like, I mean, they've done that every time for the last like 5 editions. So it'll be a 2-week pre-order window, and then it'll drop on the 24th. So
okay, sorry, just quickly, John Roberts saying Dave Taylor correcting to feel younger.
Yeah.
No, nothing can make these old bones feel younger, John. Oh! Yes, and Scott says, "I've observed all ex-GW employees still catch themselves using we and us all the time. Interesting. Looks I know from Privateer Press, etc. do not suffer from this anomaly."
It is definitely hard to kind of get away from that.
Yeah.
It's I mean, again, like you work there for so long and you take such ownership over like having to like run your store a certain way and yeah, I don't know if I could ever not do that.
You're as you're flicking through those web pages that you're looking at, you're strobing.
Yeah, my light changing. Yeah. I pulled up a copy of the Leviathan box contents.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Paul said, "Do you believe they are ready for this huge quantity that will be pre-ordered for 10th edition?" I would love to say yes. I'm going to say no. But anyway.
So my 2 cents on this is, so I've had this running joke with like Lewandowski. I've told him this before, and a couple of other friends of ours. So there's this weird, I don't want to say disconnect, but there's like a willful obliviousness to certain launches. And I know that part of it is it's just built into the machine, right? It's like we're going to make as many as we can, and we're going to sell them all, and then we have to hold back a certain percentage for the Games Workshop web store, and then we've got to make sure we put aside enough for all the different markets. So like, you know, the European market gets theirs, and the UK market gets theirs, and North America gets theirs. So the Asian market gets theirs. So they have to make a certain amount that has to sort of cover everybody. And no matter how many they make, they're literally guessing on that number, and I get that. So you never want to make so many that they eat it. And you and I could remember this as well when they launched. Was it Dreadfleet? No, not Dreadfleet.
Right, yeah, Dreadfleet.
Yeah, Dreadfleet. So Games Workshop made a zillion of those, being like, "This is going to be the biggest thing ever," and boy, was it not. Like, it did not sell anywhere near what they thought it was going to. We sat on tons of them. Every store was like blowing them out on like massive discount. They sold a ton into trade. Trade was like giving them away with orders. Like, if you spend $400, we'll give you a copy of Dreadfleet. So they got that burned them so badly that I think that they've never fully recovered from that.
Yep. I'm gonna make a suggestion. There is that they didn't make a zillion. They made a lot, but
sure.
But they didn't make this many. They made this many, and instead of making this many and selling this many, they sold this many.
Right.
It was just a really super odd product, and that should never been as big as it was. But I think you're right. I think that did burn them pretty hardcore. And
I don't think they've ever really recovered from it. I think they've always been really gun shy about making big numbers. Yeah. But even talking to a lot of the guys that work in trade and a lot of the guys that work in finance, my sort of mindset has always been, if you're making anything that has Space Marines and any flavor of Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, Loyalist Space Marines, if it's Space Marines or undead, you can print more. You're gonna sell more than you think you are. Everything else, okay, like I get it. Maybe hedge your bets a little bit. Maybe don't go ham. But every single time they've done that, the stuff, if it's Space Marines or undead, it always sells. So like every time they've updated vampire counts, we've sold every single thing they've sent us without fail. Every single time they do a new Space Marine box, we sell every single thing they send us. Indominus is the perfect example. Yeah. I remember our rep called us on like a Thursday, and this was basically 7 days before, or like 11 days before launch. Yep. And they were like, "How many do you want?" And we were like, 250. And she called us, and Ben and I were like, "Should we do 250? Yeah, 250 seems right. Let's do 250. Okay, 250. Okay, no problem. We'll take care of you guys. You're also going to get 2 copies for the store. One you can open right away and paint, and one you can build and do demos with." And we're like, "Okay, cool." So they call me back, and they're like, literally the next day, they're capping everybody at 98. And I was like, "Wait a minute. You're giving us like less than a half of what we wanted?" And they're like, "Yeah, like it's really heavily allocated, and we weren't really sure." And I was like, "You guys just have to do better. Like I've already started taking pre-orders at this point. I conservatively ordered what I ordered because I know I can sell them." And to be fair, our rep was really good to us. She was able to pull some strings, and they had a little bit of like wiggle room, so we got maybe a dozen more or like 20 more. And I basically was able to take care of every pre-order we had. Yep. But I also had to go back and tell everybody that wasn't local. Yep. Like I had probably 12 people that didn't know. They had never ordered from us before. They placed orders for Indominus. Yep. And I was like, "I can't fulfill your order. I'm really sorry. Like I didn't even get enough to take care of my regulars." So we refunded probably a dozen. And then I had probably 7 or 8 people that ordered multiple copies. Yep. And I was like, "You can have one." So I refunded the difference. So we were able to cover everybody, but we sold every single copy we got, and I was able to get extra copies from other stores. Like there's a comic store near us that has a GW account. So I was like, "Order whatever you can. I'll take whatever you guys don't sell." Yep. But Leviathan, I think, is going to be the same thing. And the other thing that people need to remember is this is not the 10th edition starter set. Yeah. They will make a 10th edition starter set. This is like the splash launch. 10th is here. This is great. This is a FOMO box.
It's a great value box. Yeah, it is. It is a FOMO box. Yeah, for sure. The one of the things that I'll jump in and mention is that always makes me chuckle is that, not specifically with Leviathan or any 40k splash box, but with every other box like Cursed City and that kind of thing.
Blackstone
Fortress. They're working on a thing like, okay, how many did we sell last time? We sold 10,000. Okay, so we're going to make 10,000 this time. Last time we sold out before release, but we're not taking that into account, so we're just going to make 10,000 of this. Oh, look, we sold out before release. Right. Next time around, well, how many are we going to make? Well, we made 10,000 last time and we sold out, so let's make 10,000. We'll sell out.
It's a very like Japanese Zaibatsu kind of mindset. Like Konami does this all the time. Yeah. Konami makes a card game, right. Yu-Gi-Oh, and whereas like Wizards of the Coast makes Magic, right? So Magic will put out a new set, and then they're like, these sets are current, and they will continuously reprint those sets until they're not current anymore, and then they sell out. Konami does a different model where they're like, we made 10,000. And to your point, they're like, well, why'd you make 10,000? Like, because we sold 10,000 last time. And it's like, right, but this set's really popular. People are really excited. You could probably, even if you bumped it up by 10%, and you made 11,000, you could sell 11,000. And they're like, right, but we know we'll sell 10,000. And it's like, that's true. But you could sell more, and they're like, no, we just make 10,000. the Games Workshop model, the other thing that I always think is a little strange with some of their numbering is like they don't do any real-time analytics.
Yeah.
They don't do any sales data. Like, no one has ever called me and said, hey, so we noticed that over the last year you bought X amount of, insert X codex.
Sure. Yeah.
How many copies out of all the ones you bought have you sold?
Yeah.
If they did that and they had actual analytics, they could grow their numbers without, to your point, without there being any risk.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, we pre-sold 10,000. So you call every single store within 90 days and you're like, how many did you sell? Yeah. And you're like, I sold 9 out of the 10 that I ordered.
Yep.
And I'm like, I sold all 50 that I ordered. Yep. And Jim's Comics is like, well, I ordered 12 and I sold 6. And they're like, okay, cool. So 50%, he sold 100%, and you sold 90%, and then you weight it based on the size of the order.
Yep.
And then they could literally manage their numbers in real time, so they know what they need to make. And I know that some of it is like the big starter sets with like books and printed material is different because like the miniatures and everything get printed in Nottingham, but all their miniatures get printed in Nottingham, but then all their packaging material, all the
cardboard,
all the cardboard, all the books, all that stuff is not printed in Nottingham.
Yeah.
So like this is stuff that was printed months and months and months and months and months ago. So I get some of that, but there's got to be a better way to manage that number.
There does. Yeah, Matt says, how many boxes have you sold in the first week, 2 weeks, 30 days?
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Just jumping back a little bit, Scott says, I got the impression Speed Freaks and some of the big Necromunda things didn't sell out as expected. Probably, yeah. I would say that Speed Freaks, for example, was, even though it was kind of sold as a new game,
it's just Necromunda.
Was not seen as a new game. It was seen as a box with orc vehicles in it.
Yeah.
And if you didn't collect orcs, you didn't really care about Speed Freaks.
Right.
It wasn't Gorka Morka. It wasn't the remake of Gorka Morka that a lot of people were hoping for. But even then, it probably wouldn't have sold as big as Gorka Morka. But
I think that's one of the and again, problem is the wrong word because it's a cool thing to deal with. But I think one of the biggest other issues they run into is the fact that they do stuff like that where they're like, we're going to release this new thing.
Yeah.
And if you and I are collectors, it's like, oh, I'm going to buy those because I want those models.
Yeah.
And it's like that's great, but like you guys spent all this time in development making this product, and all people really want is the models.
Yep.
But then I remember there's still models now that are out of Indominus, and the one before that you can't get singly.
Yeah.
Like the Chaos, like Dan will appreciate this. The Chaos, the Space Marine, Master of Possession.
Right. Yep.
You can't get him.
Yep.
He came in that starter box with the Space Marines and the Chaos Space Marines, and like there's no way to get him. Like
the Obliterators and the Venom Crawler were all on that one sprue, and now you can get that as a box. But if you want 4 Obliterators and no Venom Crawlers, bad luck, buddy. You're getting 2 Venom Crawlers.
Yeah, you need to buy 2 boxes and throw the Venom Crawlers in the trash. Is what you have to do.
Or send them to me. Anyway.
Yeah. Sure. Or send it. Dan's talking about like Chaos Cultists. Right now there's like the 2 different boxes of Cultists.
Right.
And like we've run into this just when we reorder. Oh god, yeah. Chris just brought up my least favorite suppressors. I love suppressors. There's no way to get them.
Yep.
Or like Chris said the Necron Reanimator. It's just so weird. Like I don't understand some of the decisions. I don't understand. It's like, well, you guys already printed the model. Like he already exists. I know you can make them. Just stick him in a box, make him $35, send him to stores, like or make him web only, like anything.
Yep.
But the fact that they're just like, shh, let's just pretend that we didn't release that model, and it's like, why?
I don't think they do that. I think that it doesn't. It just ends up like not being put on a line of a spreadsheet, so it doesn't go into a schedule.
Right.
For a lot of things, I think that happens. And then there's other stuff where it's like, okay, well, we'll eventually release this as its own box. And then they go, actually, there are so many of these out there already. How many are being sold on eBay?
I mean, they could literally make a box tomorrow and have it be web only and call it like Lost in the Damned, and it's just the Chaos Cultist sprues.
Right.
And like,
well,
you know, everybody that we're talking to right now in the chat would all be like, I would buy one.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I know you guys are a business. I know you want to make money. Like, here's an easy way. You already did all the hard work. The models are designed. The sprues are all set. I know you have the molds because you made the models. Like, I know you've got empty white cardboard boxes at the warehouse.
Yep.
Print a label, stick it on there. Like,
yep, exactly. Well, the Ashes of Faith box.
Oh.
It's cultists. It's cultists, and cultists, and like 7 Inquisition dudes that are new, and they released it as a FOMO box.
Yep.
Gotta have it. I don't have it because I went. They'll come out eventually, and I don't need them right now.
It's also another one of those things where, so for that launch, we were limited to 2. And again, we talked about, I understand that you've got to monitor quantities, and I get that. But if you have a store, you know, and we're not even like the biggest account around. I know we're one of, if not the biggest account in the Northeast.
Right.
But there are way bigger stores than us in the US and in parts of Europe, like way bigger in terms of volume.
Yep.
But if I was able to order 2, and my buddy down the street who has a GW account but doesn't really carry GW, he was allowed to order 2, I was like, how does that make any sense? Like,
well, that goes back to that. We made X number of that box. Now we're going to make X number of this box.
Yeah.
But the weirdest thing is that they've put all those cultist models in there because they've obviously got stockpiles.
Right, yeah. They're like, what do we do with all these cultists?
They haven't covered the cost of their molds yet, so we need to sell all these cultists. Make twice as many. Get 4 into your store. 6 into your store, 2 into the other guy's store.
Yeah.
One day. Maybe.
They could have made a cultist fighting cultist box and called it like, you know, like choose your patron. And or have 4. You could paint a slashy one, a Nurgle one. You know, I could do all 4, put them in a box, and be like, oh, it's all 4 Chaos Gods worth of cultists. You're like, that's great. I'm just gonna buy the box and paint them all as like, you know, Nurgle dudes or whatever. It's just a box of Chaos Cultists.
Yep.
But,
exactly.
All right. So in terms of the box, I think the box is gonna be, I think it's gonna be $250.
Okay.
A lot of people are guessing 300, but if you compare it to like the Heresy box, there's not as much stuff as the Heresy box.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be the same. I think it's going to be a little bit less. Indominus was 200.
Yep.
So I think this one's going to be like 250. It might be 200. I don't think anybody would be upset if it's 200, but I feel like it's going to be 250.
What was it in Indominus, did you say?
200.
200, right? Yeah. In that case, I'm going to say 220. Is going to be my guess.
Okay. I mean, that would be cool. I don't know if they'll do a weird number. Not a weird number, but I don't know if they'll do a number like that.
No, I think they might. It is a weird number, but
I want to pull up what's in Indominus box contents.
But something I think we were talking about it last week or the week before. But Jake and I have a bet going. We have formalized the bet, and if so basically I have, what have I said, the 24th, released on the 24th, then I win, and if it's released on the 17th, Jake wins.
Right.
And if I win, you'll buy me a box.
Yep.
And if you win, what's happening? I'm painting something from the box for you.
Yeah.
Okay. For your flesh eaters?
Yes.
Right, yeah. Which squad was it again?
I don't remember. Hang on, I want to pull up this image so I can... Wow, this picture sucks.
Well, thankfully we're not showing it to anybody, so...
All right, so here's the difference. So in Indomitus, you got 3 bikers.
Yep.
10 assault intercessors.
Yep.
A squad of eradicators. A squad of blade guard vets.
Yep.
And then you got two, three, four characters.
Right.
And then in the Necron side, you got 2 10-man squads of warriors, the 3 destroyers, the Ophidian destroyers.
Yep.
You got the scarabs that came with all of them, and then you got the big like walking drone thing, the War of the Worlds guy, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 characters, and one of the characters came with that little retinue of those little barrel dudes.
Right.
So it's 4 squads plus 4 characters basically on either side, and the new box comes with technically it's 5 squad. It's 4 squads plus a dreadnought and 4 characters.
Okay.
And on the Tyranid side, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 squads. I guess it's 5 squads and then 3 big monsters. So I mean, yeah, I guess it is. It's a little bit more than what comes in Indominus.
Right. Okay.
But it's not. I don't think it's as much as the Heresy box.
So you're thinking 250.
I think 250.
Okay. That sounds fair. That sounds fair. I'd like it to be 220, but I'm not buying one anyway. Jake's going to be getting me one when it drops to the 24th.
So Hank, I didn't technically say when because I don't want to get in trouble, but my guess is, in terms of the bet, the bet is that originally I had said the 17th and Dave said the 24th, but the more I've kind of like looked at everything, kind of run the numbers, I think it's gonna be the 24th because the 24th is Warhammer's birthday.
If it drops any other time outside of those 2 dates, then we both win because I don't have to paint any models for you and you'd have to buy me a box, right?
Dave, I'll still buy you a box anyways.
Oh, you're sweet. So sweet. Awesome.
I mean, like in terms of what's in the box, like the stuff, the contents look great. Like so we're gonna get. The only thing I was a little disappointed by is that there's not new gene sealers. I was like, talk about a Tyranid model that needs to be redone. I don't think that model has changed since it came out in 3rd edition. It's the same kit.
Yeah. Yep.
But so we're getting new Termagants.
Yep.
And it looks like you get 2 squads of 10. And then there's those new little, I don't know what they are, the weird
Bob Gaunts.
They're like the little ones off to the side. They look like little trolley things. They're like smaller than the Gaunts, but I don't know what they are. I think those are the ones that explode.
Okay.
And then there's like 3 weird, like tall, they look almost like Biovores, but I don't think, I mean, it could be Biovores. There's like a squad of 5 something. They look like Biowars. They have like an opening above their heads.
Oh, okay.
And they have it painted all red. So I think they're Biowars or something like them.
They're smaller. I think they're smaller versions.
Okay, yeah. And then there's like the 3 new lictors.
Right. The
they
Leapers.
They look great.
What are they called? The Von Ryan's Leapers.
Yeah, Von Ryan's Leapers. So there's those. Then there's that new big floating brain bug, which looks awesome.
Right.
And then there's the one that we said looks like a venom crawler.
Oh yeah. Looks awesome.
Like there's that thing.
Yep.
And then there's that new winged
Tyranid Prime.
Yeah, Prime.
Yep.
And then there's the Screamer Killer, which is the Screamer Killer is awesome. I want the Screamer
awesome. Yeah. It's definitely cool.
He looks great.
Dan has suggested that if it's on any other days, then that means that we both have to buy him a box.
Oh wow.
And
deal.
Matt Bowles said, yes, please, new Gene Stealers.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be great.
I'm assuming that they will. The whole reason they're redoing this line is because they know, much like the Necrons, this line needs some love. It needs some new stuff. So I think that's why they did it. They always pair, it's like Space Marines, and then GW looks at it like, okay, what's the kid brother? Out of all the armies we have, what army needs the most help? And then they just put it in the box with the Space Marines.
Yep.
Sure. I was a little bummed out that it's not Blood Angels.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Scott says, brain bug? I find the idea of a smart bug offensive.
Which, would you like to know more?
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean they do look really cool. Like we talked about the other day, the screaming baby, the angry baby, the screamer killer is like. Yeah. I love that they're redoing that model and it looks like super dangerous. As opposed to the old one, it had like because it was metal, it had the rounded off tips on its claws.
Yep.
So it looked like it had like big banana clip fingers. It was ridiculous looking.
Yes, Josh, I am doing my part.
Dave's doing his part.
Yep.
Yeah, the models look great. Like the Marines, I'm really looking forward to. I don't know how. That's part of the reason I'm not painting anything else. I want to wait until like the new. I'm super excited for the data slates, the new or whatever they're calling them, the new the cards.
Yep.
Awesome. It's about time. It only took them 10 editions to make them for 40K. Like, I think that's really great. I also like the fact that all the rules are going to be on one page.
Right.
So there's no more like, oh, my Terminator shoots his assault cannon at your squad, and you're like, okay. And I'm like, they have rending. And it has blast, and you're like, okay, what does that do? Hang on, let me go to the weapon special section. Oh, okay, so blast means that I have to use the small template, and you can roll again, and it'll move if I'm shooting it like swarms. Okay, and then what does rend do? Okay, if I go to rend, it scores an auto wound on a 6, and you're like, so I have to go to like potentially 3 places to find those rules. Like, just put it on the same page.
So you're telling me you think that's going to be on the card?
It is. It all is.
Okay, the cards they've shown so far haven't had that.
I don't think they've shown them all when they showed us the Space Marine one at 40K at Adepticon. They showed just like whatever like Space Marine guys. Right? I don't know if it was intercessors or whatever, but it had like their weapons and it was like they're armed with this, and this, and they're armed with this and this, and one guy in the unit can have this weapon. And then when you looked at the bottom, it had all the stuff that the weapon does.
Right. The ones that they've been showing in the like the faction focus on the Warhammer community page, they've shown like it says like here are all the options, and here are the stats. But it might have like this weapon has in brackets like sustained fire 1 and blast, but nowhere does it on that sheet on that card at the front that they are showing.
Okay.
Does it describe what those things are? So I suspect those things are going to be in a universal rules section in the book.
I don't understand why those rules. Hopefully I'm right.
Hopefully you're right. Hopefully I'm wrong.
It's on the back of the card or the bottom, and they just haven't shown it.
Yep.
But there's no reason why I should have to go looking through a rule book for a rule for a unit that I'm holding the card for. It should just be all right there. I can't think of any. It just makes sense. Like, why would you do that? But I'll tell you right now, if it doesn't, on the back of every single one of those cards,
tradition, Jacob. Tradition.
Yeah. No. We're not doing that anymore. Tradition is just another way of saying lazy. I was too lazy to change it. That's what tradition means.
Fantastic.
The stuff in the box, though.
Yep.
I'm probably the most excited for the. I really like the Terminators. The Terminator Captain is just rad. I really like that they made the bolters look huge. Like you could put the Storm Bolter barrel over a guardsman's head. Like it's like he could fit his head in there, which is awesome. The Primera Stern Guard or the bigger Stern Guard look great. The Flame Dudes look awesome. The
that was it. I was
gonna
have to paint your Infernus squad.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not going to paint those guys. And then the guy I'm looking forward to the most in the box is the Phobos Tyranid Hunter Lieutenant.
All right, yep.
That guy looks awesome.
He does look great. He's going to be perfect for John Roberts' Raven Guard. No, he's doing 30K.
Absolutely.
Doing 30K. You have to do some 40K now, John.
You can use him as a Mortat.
Sure, yeah.
He can be Mortat. He's pretty rad.
Armor. Yeah. Indeed.
He's awesome. The Infernus guys are cool.
Chris says that I think they said on the stream that the box is coming up with at least all with all different chapter transfers, so you can still definitely do them as Blood Angels, even though they're not specifically Blood Angels.
Yeah, no, I mean I get that. But.
Yeah, I know. Dan says my issue with cards is that I bought all my appropriate cards. No, the new bad Apocalypse box came out, and then they were all invalidated within a week. Yep. It's the danger. It's always the danger. My fear is that I will lose them. Not all of them, just some of them. And invariably, some of them will be the units that I need.
Well, so I think you'll be in luck because and again, I don't know how they're going to do this. They haven't really shown that, but if they're going to put all the cards for all the stuff in the box, and then you buy the Imperial cards, you would basically have doubles of all the units that are in the box.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
that'll be fine.
As long as you're running something close to that, you should be good.
It'll be fine. There'll be the indexes as well. It'll be okay.
I do like the Apothecary and the Gravis armor. I'm still not a huge fan of like the Kiss boots.
Okay.
On all the Gravis armor dudes, like they're all like wearing these giant like. I just want to put like teeth on them and paint them all to look like they're in Kiss.
Are you telling me you don't want to rock and roll on that?
I mean, I'm not making a Noise Marine, so no.
Excellent.
No, but the box itself, it looks like there's a lot of rad stuff. I think the models are great. There's nothing in the box that looks bad.
No.
The Mortis pattern Redemptor is just awesome. It's so old school. Missile launcher, twin last cannon. I was like, this is the best.
And just taller.
Yep. He's pretty cool. And he'll have what? He still has because he's a Redemptor, he still has those little side guns as well. So it technically has more guns than a classic Mortis pattern.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Bowles there within Party Every Day.
No, and that Scott. It's rock and roll all night and part of every day.
Part of every day. Oh, you got to rock and roll. Oh, okay. I get you. Yep. Sorry, Nicole or James.
Nope.
Big Goth boots.
How's it going?
Excellent. Welcome. No, sorry. Jake does not like the Krampus boots.
It's not my jam.
No.
Again, they don't look bad. They're fine. I'm just like.
They're just not for you.
You know what I mean? It's the heel.
Okay.
Like if it was just like a Space Marine boot, I'd be like, okay, cool.
Okay.
But they made it like it's like the Noise Marines like cloven heel, and I was like, why did you?
Who knows?
Yeah, Josh, when you live in Massachusetts, Detroit, Rock City, it is a little bit far away.
Yeah, this is true. But you can fly there. Awesome. There we go. I was going to need to work Thursday wearing goth boots just to spite you.
Again, I don't have a problem with them. I think big goth boots are great. I just don't want to paint them on my Marines.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. They're fine.
Nice.
Again, specifically the ones on the Noise Marine, they're awesome.
Excellent.
I just don't want them on my Apothecary.
Cool. Excellent. So we're currently at you're probably buying me a box because it's probably going to be released on the 24th.
Yeah, you're getting a box.
Probably is what we're saying. Yeah.
I think it's going to be. Look, I'm not supposed to give away the date, so what I would say is this: I don't think it'll be before the 23rd, and I don't think it'll be after the 25th.
Radio. Sweet. Yeah.
But
awesome. Oh, there we go. Matt says a little putty to fill that space.
Yeah.
Move
on. All right. So what are you looking forward to in terms of like what's in the box? Like what do you think is the coolest? What guys are you excited about?
About what's in the box? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know really. The Screamer Killer, probably. Which is the main thing. I don't know because I haven't really done any Primaris dudes at all. So
well, that's a decent start.
Yep. I can probably add those to the Indomitus box that I've got that I haven't done anything with.
Damn, that
just over there.
That's probably like if you put those together, that's probably like almost 2,000 points. That's probably like 17, something like that.
Yep. And then I just have to get one of those tanks that's out of stock.
Which ones?
Any of them.
we get them all. I have all their teams.
Nice. Cool. I'd probably go with the try and pick up the Brutalis Dreadnought.
Oh yeah, that guy's great. We have him in stock too.
Yeah, he's cool.
Who doesn't like? You mean the Furioso?
Yeah.
Every time I see that, I'm like, this is a Furioso Dreadnought. Like,
Just taller. Just taller.
They did. I heard that they're getting rid of all of the. There's no more Primaris keyword and First One keyword. It's just Space Marines.
Yep.
Which is great. So now you can put Terminators in a Repulsor. You can put Primaris Marines in a Land Raider. I was like, that's great. That is.
Yep.
All the things can play together, which is awesome. So
it makes sense for sure. Matt's excited about lots of bugs, and Dan is just glad that the box is coming out, and I'm playing neither of the armies, so I don't have to buy it. That is totally fair. I am.
Dan's gonna buy it anyways.
Sure, but I am primarily looking forward to the indexes and checking those out, and then cross-referencing them against particularly my Leagues of Votann and my Adeptus Mechanicus stuff. So excited.
I'm curious how they're gonna. I'm curious how the Blood Angels are going to work, because they already said that they're getting rid of the and this isn't just Space Marines, this affects everybody. They're getting rid of the what's the word? Like the faction stuff.
Right.
So I was like, okay, but then I was like, well, how is that going to work? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how that's going to work.
Right.
Because it's like, okay, you pick your faction. You're either Xenos or you're Imperial or your Chaos, and then it's like, okay, so you pick that, and then once you pick your thing, like, how does somebody like Gilliman work, right? So, like, Gilliman has his two abilities. He has one that affects Space Marines,
right,
and then he has one that affects Imperial units.
Okay.
So it's like, well, Space Marines are Imperial units, so he can use both on them, but if they're getting rid of the faction stuff, how does that work? You know what I mean? So,
I'm not sure. I think they're just maybe not getting rid of, but they're like getting rid of it wholesale. They're just trimming it down.
Sure.
So that at the moment, the like Leagues of Votann would have one faction sort of thing. Sisters of Battle would have one faction thing. Space Marines would have one faction thing. And I'm sure that it allows them to add more things later on. Because that is what they will do. They always do it. They'll definitely add more layers, but this might just be starting really small and tight, and then slowly adding those things on. Oh, sorry. John says, I'm actually suffering through fully magnetizing a Votann army. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound fun at all. I just glued all mine. I just picked.
Yep.
Wait, this. I'm going with that. One of the things that I found interesting with the, I think I might have mentioned this in the previous episode, but when they showed the Votann card on the Warcom site, Warhammer community site, in the Hearthkin Warriors section, it showed like the high-las rifle, which is the standard sort of special weapon that they have.
Right.
Which looks like it's got a las gun, but then it's got like a big sort of barrel kind of magazine at the bottom. Big drum mag. But they also had the high-las rotary cannon, which at the moment, the only place that you can get that is
in the Gallifol box.
Is in the Gallifol box. Did I mention that? I must have mentioned that before.
Yeah. Well, no, but we were talking. You had mentioned it the other day, and then Ben said the same thing. So,
but it's there. It's on the card. So I'm wondering if that means that Gallifol sprue, which is just a little half sprue that goes with the everything else is Hearthkin Warriors. Is that going to be in that box now when they rebox it for 10th edition?
So I don't know if they'll put it in that box. I don't know if they'll put it in that box, but I think what you're going to get is you're going to get what they've done with every kill team FOMO box.
Sure, yeah. You'll get the kill team
boxes.
Yeah.
So, but that's going to be a mixed box, right? So you're going to get if you buy the Votann or whatever her name is, if you buy her squad, it's going to be her jumping and then the other guys and like that weapon, like. You know what I mean? Like, that would make sense. Right. But then it's like you got to buy two boxes to... I don't know.
It's just going to be a weird thing. It was really interesting to see it there. And it's like, oh, I wonder if this was an error or will it continue through? So it just makes me wonder. That's why I'm curious to see the indexes. I think it'll be fun. But, yeah.
Oh, Sean just jumped on.
Oh, hey Sean. Also, Jim said I still haven't seen anything that captured my attention the same way as Blade Guard veterans and the captain from the Indomitus did. Totally
I
fair.
agree.
Yep.
I agree. I think the Blade Guard were like the Blade Guard Lieutenant, and the Blade Guard Captain were like the 3 coolest models in that box.
Yep. Excellent. And yeah, John says I'm wondering how they're going to package it for the existing Votan.
I think for starters, I think you're just going to get it as like Votan Squad as a kill team box. I just think that's what you're going to get. And then if you want to buy them, you can.
You'd have 2 there and pick your option. Pay your $10 extra for the sprue.
Yeah.
Could be.
Dan, I think my favorite thing about 10th so far is the conversation I had with someone today where he was adamant that Death Guard are trash now because we've seen 5 whole things so far. Like 2 data sheets, 2 weapons, 1 stratagem, no psychic powers. Apparently all of that is enough to call the entire garbage. So Dan, let me speaking from experience, what I would say.
Sorry, I was going to say. Okay, go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You go first.
I was just going to do the whole James Franco noose first time meme.
I mean, like people, you're always going to get these weird like turd farmers that don't really understand the rules or like the whole point of the game in general. The whole reason, and they talked about this at Adepticon. You know, Hank was gracious enough to host these guys and get the ownership to come over, and GW sent over the 2 lead designers, and they talked. I pulled them aside. We had a really good conversation, and I said on behalf of the community at large, thank you. Because most people want to play and have a good time with their friends. And sure, like some tournaments and play in local stores, that's great. But if you're somebody who is like, well, I have to fly to like X different events every year and play because I really, like, I'm a tryhard and I got to win and I'm playing the most competitive meta and whatever the newest list is, you're not really playing in the spirit of the game. Like, I get it, like, that's your hobby and that's fine. I'm not gonna wreck it. That's your thing. But it's not everybody's thing. And Games Workshop has to cater to the largest component of the crowd, which is people who want to buy, collect, and play with their armies. Yep. So I think that by simplifying things and making things a little bit more balanced, it's more appealing to everybody. So I'm not surprised that some clown saw these 3 things and was like, oh, well, my Death Guard are trash now. It's like, are they maybe not quite as unkillable as they are right now in 9th edition? Yeah, that's fair. But they also shouldn't be. Like, Death Guard in 9th edition they shouldn't exist. They are so overpowered and so unevenly designed. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, how does this army stack up against anything else? Like, oh, I brought my really fun guardsman list. What is it? It's just a bunch of guardsmen. I threw in like a tank or 2 and maybe a sentinel. And the Nurgle player is going to be like, cool, I'm just going to crush you in 2 turns.
Yeah. Like,
there's nothing you can do to me. So...
That's one of the things I'm interested in seeing if they sort out, but it's the whole idea of like, for Death Guard, currently in 9th edition, Plague Marines are not a particularly valuable unit in the army. They're not, it's like, there are better options. So, particularly if you're using something like the Arcs of Omen thing where you don't have to take troops. It's like, why would you take these guys?
Right.
Orcs in an orc army. Orc boys. Why would you take orc boys? Loads of other stuff that's way better. That kind of thing. I'd love to not make it mandatory, but I'd love to make those choices valuable. So it'd be interesting to see if that happens. Yep. Yes, indeed. Write down turd farmers. Use it again. Josh says, Jervis wrote a column about that, playing the spirit of the game. Used to say play the game, not the rules. For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. Okay. That's enough about 10th.
All right. We can talk more when we come back for season 3, because then it'll be out. We can actually talk about more.
Yep. In the distant future.
In the future.
So yeah, one of the things I was going to say, I wrote down the list. In season 2, season 1, I think we had 1 guest, and that was Dan Osborne, and it was an episode where our audio was terrible.
Yeah, and I wasn't here, so you just had Dan Osborne.
Just had Dan. And we improved our audio game. I'm not going to say it's great, but we improved it. Season 2.
Everybody watching, am I echoing, by the way? Last week we had an echoing problem. I think I fixed it, but nobody has said anything yet, so I'm hoping it's better.
Yep. I don't know.
Sweet. Okay. All right.
Definitely better. So this season, we had Simon Berman, we had Rick Ankney, we had Jeff Hall, we had Hank Edley, we had Owen Best, we had Eric Swinson, we had Kit Petronas from Game Envy, we had Jay Walker from Warsenal, we had Alex Konos.
Alex Konos.
And Brian Steele. Warzone Eternal. Just a quick reminder, Warzone Eternal Kickstarter has about 43 hours left. There's a link down in the notes. Go and check it out. There's a whole bunch of stuff's been unlocked. Adam Abramovich and Jason Craze.
Yep.
That's a pretty good list. Like
I agree.
10, 11 or 12 folks. So pretty cool. Very happy with that.
Before the show, Dave and I were kicking around the ideas of who we'd want to have on for season 3, and we've got a pretty good list so far. So
yeah, I think it's one of those things where there are miniature companies. There are a lot of miniature companies in England. There are some miniature companies in the US. There's some miniature companies in other places around the world. But there are a lot of game designers in the US. So I think we're going to try and track down a bunch of them, drag them kicking and screaming onto the show to talk about their games.
I mean, come on.
Oh, invite them politely is what you meant. Okay. Sure.
I feel like they'll be excited to be on the show. So.
Sure. Yeah, I think it'll be good. So we might do that. We'll dive into the play portion of it, and we'll sprinkle a few other folks in there as well. But I think that'll be good. At the moment... so what do we got happening? So this is the last episode for season 2. We're, as I said at the start of the show, I've got a whole bunch of family stuff going on over the next few weeks. But the end of the month, my oldest daughter and I are going to Iceland for a week.
I'm pretty jealous.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty sweet.
When is that?
The last week of June.
Maybe I can pull some strings and go with you guys.
Maybe.
We could do a live episode from like some hot spring.
Kicking back in the hot springs.
Yeah. There's also our cell phones. Like
it'll be perfect. Yes, technology will work absolutely perfectly. I'm sure.
That'd be amazing.
So yeah, we're doing.
Everybody, it's Dave and I coming to you live from Reykjavik.
It's gonna be awesome. We're looking forward to it. She has planned the trip. She planned out what we're doing, where we're staying, all that sort of fun stuff. So it's going to be great to get there. Oh, we've got John Steining is in. He says, Slido, but he also says Iceland is the best. So I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to Iceland before. Scott also said, I hear booze is crazy expensive in Iceland. I'm out. That's okay. I planned a budget, and then I gave that amount to my daughter to make sure we fit everything within that budget, and we're still looking pretty good. So I think I could still probably afford 1 or 2 drinks an evening, but we'll see.
That's the plan. You're like, look, as long as I can get 1 or 2 drinks in,
1 or 2 drinks, it'll be fine.
Should be safe.
Lots of walking, lots of hiking. Hopefully not too much driving, but the great part as well is it'll be a couple of days after the summer solstice. And it's close enough to the Arctic Circle that we'll have... There'll be basically at night, the sun will just sort of skip along the horizon before bouncing back up and...
That's pretty cool.
Coming back at us again.
My wife and I want to go so that we can see the... Can you see the Northern Lights from Iceland?
You can, but certainly not in summer.
Yeah, no, definitely not this time of year. But...
You see the Northern Light, it's the sun.
Nice.
But yeah, you can definitely see them from Iceland. So that'll be good. July, what do we got going on in July?
So July, we've got America's birthday.
This is true.
And then right after America's birthday, it's my birthday.
And you'll be 52, right?
No, I'll be
180.
48. I'll be 48. Yeah, fortunately my elven blood keeps me looking young.
Cool.
But so I'll have that's my birthday, and then like 3 weeks after that, I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con.
Nice. And
so
the same weekend you're at San Diego Comic-Con, I'm going to be at Historicon in sunny downtown Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
A little smaller.
Slightly different, yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly different vibe.
And then what? And then we get back from there. And then, are you going to Gen Con?
I will not be at Gen Con, unfortunately.
All right.
I know.
Wait, when's Nova? Is Nova in August this year?
It starts like August 30th, I think, or 31st, August 31st.
All right. So then like I think it's literally like 8 days after San Diego Comic Con. I think I've got to be at Gen Con. So
okay.
I'm literally home for like 4 days, and then I fly back out to Indiana. Hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully, Gen Con is a most likely.
Cool. So when should we come back? Just before San Diego?
Yeah, we can do that. What do you want to do? You want to?
We'll do the week before, like the Tuesday before. You head out on the Wednesday or?
Yeah, I head out. I head out on Tuesday.
Okay.
So we could do.
Maybe we should start at the week after that then.
How many weeks do you want to take off? 6?
All of them. I'm lazy.
We can't take all the weeks off.
I'm traditional.
You are traditional. We talked about this.
It's so
Tradition's a dirty word. So if we take June off, that'd be 4 weeks.
Yep.
And then we could come back. But then the 4th is a Tuesday.
Yep.
We wouldn't do that. We could get back on the 11th.
Right.
That would be 5 weeks off, and then we'd have a show on the 11th, and then I'd be gone for a week.
Yep.
And then I'd be back on the 25th, or we could just have a show on the 25th when I get back.
Let's do that when you get back.
Okay. All right. So we're taking 1, 2, 3,
7
weeks off. Okay.
Okay. Hopefully that's okay.
We could always do another, like, we could stick in a stinger episode in there somewhere, like we did last time.
Just sneak it in. Sure. We'll see what we can do.
Like a mini episode and just like go over the unboxing.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Okay, so it looks like we'll do that.
All right.
Excellent.
You got any pictures, or what else do we want to talk about?
We do have pictures. Let's jump into that.
Let's see.
Let us talk about. We'll go through hobby from the group. So, hobby from the Facebook group. If you are not a member of the Facebook group, please consider joining. The link is in the notes below. Come and join us. First up, we've got a couple of photos from July 25th, Season 3 starts. What happens after that crazy cliffhanger? I know. It is going to be crazy. First up, we've got... Ben Williams and his Boingrot Bounders, I think they're called.
Yep.
For Age of Sigmar.
They look great. The tones on the purples and the blues look so good.
Yeah, they do look awesome, don't they?
I like the bright blue gums that they have.
Yeah. Yep. They do look super cool. And we've got a close-up here as well. I do love these. There's just that fantastic sort of Brian Froud labyrinth goblins kind of feel to these, which is just absolutely awesome.
That's a great job on like the faded checkers on the lances too.
Yeah. Yep.
I love those models.
Yep, the models are great, and Ben's just done an awesome job.
Dude, talk about not taking care of your pet. Check out that bounder in the middle who has like his teeth are all fucking broken and stuff. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
You gotta take better care of your pets.
Yep. Definitely.
That one also only has one eye.
I know. That was the first time I've seen that. Look at the one behind it as well, though, that has the it looks like it's got the goblin helmet.
Oh yeah, he's got like the mantlet on, or the what is it on a horse? It's a chamfron.
Right.
So he's wearing like a chamfron on the top, and then he has like the jaw piece.
Do a little bit as well. Yeah, that looks awesome.
I do like that they're all a little different. The one that's on the front left,
Yep.
he has like a rhino horn.
All right. Okay. Yep. But no, Ben's done an awesome job on those. They look super cool.
Yeah, Matt said too. The bases are done really well too. There's a lot of like really, like you don't even notice it because like your eyes just get like I barely even notice the riders because the colors on the
squigs.
The squigs are so like crazy.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely awesome. Next up, we have one of Chris Gawker's characters that he's painting. This is Dante. He's Primarisized Dante.
Dante is the best.
Done with this, but yeah, looking super cool. It's nice, really nice pale gold on there. But,
there's so many good golds out there. I never understand when people are like, oh, I use non-metallic metallic. I was like, but he's supposed to be metallic. Like, just paint him metallic.
I don't have a problem with the people using non-metallics. I know I tried to do some for an army, and it was like, okay, yeah, this looks really good on this first unit, and I was like, okay, I've got 5 more units to paint. Oh my god, why did I do this?
Yeah. I think non-metallic metallic has its place. I think if you use it, I think it's like I love it in dioramas.
True.
Because most dioramas are framed, right? So you're looking at it from a very specific, like look at it from this angle.
Yeah.
My problem with minis is that it's not a piece of artwork that's two-dimensional. It's a 3D miniature.
Yep.
And if you're using it in games, you're like, oh, wow, this guy looks great. And then as soon as you move him on the table, you're like, oh, why is that guy yellow? And you're like, he's not. You have to look at him from the front, from this angle, to get like the non-metallic look. Otherwise, he's like yellows and tans, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I think there are ways around that, though.
There definitely are. There definitely are. Like I said, it's just whenever people are using them in armies that are on the tabletop, that always seems weird. There's a kid that used to come in our store who has non-metallic metallic custodes.
Yep.
And he did photos for a painting contest that we had online.
Yep.
And his they look incredible because they're he tweaked everyone, so it's that forced perspective. And then he brought them in and put them on the table. And a bunch of the judges were like, I don't really like that guy's army. And I went, what do you mean? He's like, oh, the guy who painted his custodes all yellow. And I was like, they're non-metallic metallic. And he was like, really? Because he was standing up looking down at them on the table.
Sure, yeah.
And they didn't look right. And I was like,
angle.
no, I get what you're saying. It's one of those things like unless you can really make sure that the people are seeing it from the angle you painted it for,
yep.
it never looks the same.
It could be an issue, yeah.
He's great. I love the light effect on the axe is really rad.
Yep.
And he did a great job with like the reds. Like all the reds are like you talk about. They're always like very it's like saturated.
Right. Dan said, I want a Dante comic where he eventually dies, and one of the last panels is him just staring up as the Sanguinor hovers over him, and he just whispers, "Finally."
But then he'll wake up on the operating table because they need him.
He'll be the new Sanguinor. And yeah, Josh said Jason Cray's painted up a non-metallic metal Dante this week. Quite impressive, very definitely. Make sure you go and check out the Monument Hobbies Twitch stream every day. Definitely cool. Yeah, there's another one, Josh. Yeah, Eric's non-metallic metal is one of those that looks good from every angle. Definitely, you can do it. It can be done. Next up, we have some models from Jim Mazzullo. And there's some, what do you call it? My mind's gone blank. Martian...
Mars Attacks.
Yeah, Martian flying saucers from Mars Attacks. He hit these with, he said he hit these with 2 coats of Krylon Chrome.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they're looking pretty cool. At the moment, obviously the cockpit and some of the areas there are masked off. He was also saying he would have preferred not to have assembled them 5 years ago and then finally get around to painting them now. He'd like to paint them in sub-assemblies. But, no, they're looking good. Coming along well. Next up, we've got a few here from Christian Simonson. First up,
This is Big Rig or a Sandworm?
Oh no, this is his the Skaven drill.
Oh, yeah, he posted a ton of stuff this week.
Yeah, we went crazy. But these guys look great. I mean, that Warpstone green glow looks always looks fantastic.
Thanks, Scott.
Fantastic. Apparently, it's going to be cheaper than alcohol in Iceland. So, but yep, these this Skaven look very cool. Obviously, it's a combination of Skaven and some what do you call them? Nighthawks.
Nighthawk.
Yep.
Well, and then like I don't know if that's like a forge-rolled like digging machine in the background. I don't know what that's from, but
I'm not exactly sure either, but it does look cool. Yep.
His greens look so good.
Oh, Matt, your autocorrect there is
Shaven.
Skaven to shaven. Yee. I don't want to think about shaven rats.
A bunch of shaven slaves and shaven slingers.
Yep. But the next one is the worm from the Tormagito game, or the Inc. 28 games, which is fantastic. The head's from one of the
it's Rodigus. All right, what is it? Is it?
It wasn't the big one. It was the smaller ones.
Well, is it Blow Brotspawn?
I'm not sure. Not sure what they're called. But
Dan will know. Where's Dan Wood when you need him?
So but the body he sculpted himself. For
there
this.
You go.
There we go. Oh,
Orgoth's Demon's View.
Quite possibly. But yeah, it looks fantastic. Absolutely wicked nasty thing.
If you have to walk without rhythm.
Yeah.
So you don't attract the worm.
Attract the worm. Yep. I definitely don't want to be anywhere near that thing where it's spinning. But I love the variety of colors on the base. So he hasn't just gone for like a simple ochre base. Yeah. Having it run through that almost to red. Looks awesome. Nice work, Christian. The next one are a couple of his Necromunda pieces. So, but the first one is the fist.
Okay.
So I don't.
Dan, I said that because you'll know, and you knew.
Yeah. He does know all about this cursed chaos stuff.
Dan, stay in your lane. Like.
But yeah, I love this piece. It's the tracks from the breaches.
It's like Catafron breacher.
And crazy guy on there working
with his goggles.
But with the just the fist from a statue, it's like chained to it.
And there's a flamethrower.
I'm sure, yeah. But the important thing is that fist. It's going to come around and punch you and swing around and punch again. It's just a crazy piece. It just looks awesome. I think it's very cool.
You just use that to punch sandworms.
Okay. So that last one.
This guy's out there trying to like mow his dirt lawn, and then those damn sandworms pop up. So you have to punch one.
You punch them and then get spewed on. And then the final one we've got here from Christian is his awesome truck for his Goliath gang. Just fantastic ash waste weathering.
Yeah. I saw this and it immediately, for probably close to a year and a half, I've had this idea where I want to make a Mad Max themed orc army.
Okay. Yep.
Using the new Fury Road and paint all the orcs so they're all super pale.
Yep.
Like spray their teeth all silver and give them all goggles and make polecats for them and like I just think that it is the perfect aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said that to Christian. I was like, "Oh, is this a Mad Max themed like Chaos Army?" And he's like, kind of." He's like, "It's for another game," and then he uses stuff, and then he uses it for Necromunda for like ash waste and stuff. And I was like, "It's awesome!" But like, this is such a great job on this kit.
Yeah.
There's like that looks like it's dirty metal. Like if I pick it up, I'm gonna get like tetanus. I'm gonna need a tetanus shot and get like rust flakes everywhere just by touching it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you would. That does look great. That's one of the other things that I got today there was a Kickstarter that I backed that finished today. It was all STLs. So the creator sent me through the STLs this afternoon. And it's for 20 mil, so 1/72nd, 1/64th, somewhere in there. Post-apocalyptic vehicles. He's got 3 vehicles. The rest of it was for like 28 mil infantry character models. But he did some vehicles in the 20 mil scale, so he has a war rig, which is the main reason I backed it. So now
is it Gasland scale?
Yeah, so Matchbox scale is ostensibly 1/64th, but really it's all about whatever fits into that size of blister. But yeah, in that 20 mil is kind of in that same sort of thing.
That's pretty great.
So yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm going to mess around with that, and hopefully by the end of the year I'll have finished up most of my Mad Max collection.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely looks awesome. Jim says a Little Mermaid themed Ideneth Deep Konami, and the player has to wear a silly Hawaiian shirt.
That'd be rad.
Yep. Silly was a little unnecessary there.
It could just be like a cool Hawaiian shirt.
Well, no, I was going to say all Hawaiian shirts are silly.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You wouldn't say that to Magnum PI.
I would. As
I don't
well
think
as that
so.
Mustache. Silly. Silly.
That mustache is legendary.
I think last week we saw this model from Mike that he was working on, Mike Hughes. But now this is finished.
This model is incredible.
Yeah. Yep. So I think this is available from the Chimera Kickstarter.
I think so.
Fates of Tenebrae or something like that. But
I showed this to my wife.
Yep.
And I was like, there is no metal on this model.
Right.
And she went, what? And I went, that's all done with different colors to make it look like there's light. And she was like, that's really good. I was like, yeah, he's pretty good.
He's not bad. He's amazing. Yeah, Mike, this
I think he could have a future. I think he could have a future in this industry. He could be okay.
Yep. No, I think that does look great. Beautiful work there, Mike. Looks awesome. Nathan Sorensen posted this pic. And he said this is from the War of the False Primarchs. And I was like, what's that about? So if you want to know what the War of the False Primarchs is about, head to the Facebook page, check out this picture, and look for the description below. But he also has a link there to a blog all about this sort of an alternate history setting for 40k, 30k kind of timeline.
I told him I really like the forced perspective because
yeah,
he's got the thing in the front and he's got like the pulled cotton so it looks like it's the dust, and then those 2 buildings in the background, those are Titanicus scale buildings.
Yeah, yep. So it's a matter of like they're actually small, but they're meant to represent something that's far away.
Yeah, super far away.
Yep. So, but no, a great pick. But yeah, these guys look super cool.
It looks like half a Battlestar Galactica Viper front end.
Yeah, it's got a bit of that feel, doesn't it? But the guy on the back is toting an RPG.
Yeah, I like that.
No, it looks fantastic, Nathan. But definitely go and check that out. Click through the link and check out the blog. Next up, we have a pick from Scott Raynham. This is a 54 mil gnome guy that has been working on, and I think it just looks great. A lot of fun. Nice break from the goblins. But
yeah, and I like that you do. There's like red and stuff going on too. I mean, he's got his grays and greens, but this guy looks like a carrot. Like he's like the radish knight.
He's a bit like that, isn't it? Yep. He's got that going on.
He's like, I'm here to kill all the rabbits that are eating my vegetables.
I think it looks great. The next pick that I'm going to show here is a detail pick of the axe. So have a look at the axe as it is now.
Yeah.
And you look at it and go, that looks pretty cool. And
he could be a red cap. I thought red caps are goblins, though.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know.
He's from books or something.
Nice. I'm so glad that we have that information. Beetroot. There we go.
Somebody write that
down. Is he from
Scott,
books or is he
awesome.
from like mythology? But anyway,
no, he's from books or something.
Something. There's something might be mythology.
It may be.
But yeah, I just love the work that you've, the layering that you've put on this this axe here, Scott. There's just so much depth to it.
That's great.
The little hints of purple and yellow and orange.
Yeah, like obviously, this guy does not take good care of his axe.
Yep.
He leaves it out in the rain.
Yep. There we go. Scots or Irish folklore, says Josh, and Jim says red caps and gnomes.
I thought red caps are
or dwarves.
I thought red caps are goblins.
Well, when you're talking Fae,
yeah,
it all
that's
starts
true.
to blend.
They're all Fae creatures.
I say that now because I never actually am going to need to worry about going outside and accidentally encountering one. So, but yeah,
they could sneak in your basement. It's a fieldstone basement.
Shh. No, they can't come in. But yeah, looks fantastic, Scott. Thank you very much for sharing.
The red cap is a type of malevolent, murderous goblin found in border folklore, said to inhabit ruined castles along the Anglo-Scottish border, especially those that were the scenes of tyranny or wicked deeds. He is known for soaking his cap in the blood of his victims.
Oh.
Pretty cool, though. It's a cool model.
Tyranny.
Lord Beetroot.
Oh,
This is his weekend outfit. Monday through Friday, he runs a farm stand.
Right, yes. Awesome. Does a hobby knife count as cold steel?
I mean, depending on where you got it from, sure.
Yep. Excellent. Moving right along. So we have Sean Gleason has been painting up.
Oh, Lord Beetroot.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yep. It does look great, doesn't it? Castle Grayskull. Fantastic. He said now he's just going to paint the base.
Did you only get that in the Kickstarter?
Oh, I don't know. Sean, let us know.
Because we carry the base game at the store, and like the expansions, but and there's a Castle Grayskull expansion, but I don't think it comes with the castle.
Yep. And Matt says nostalgia castle is nostalgic.
True.
It is indeed. No, beautiful work there, Sean. Looks great. Next up we have... Oh, speaking of nostalgia. So this is from Stephen Ryder, who has painted up this Conan style. He said he was channeling a little bit of Frazetta when he worked on this.
I mean, if he was channeling a little bit of Frazetta, there should either be a giant six-eyed tiger off to the side or like a half-naked woman.
I said a little bit of Frazetta.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Not full-on Frazetta, in which case you have all three there.
Sure.
Just imagine them, though. You can see them, right?
Yeah,
they're existing alongside it.
Now that I think about it, yes, I can.
Cool.
I assume they're just out of the camera shot.
Yeah, yep. That's what he's looking at. He's looking at the half-naked woman riding the six-eyed tiger. Excellent. And yes, Jake does know he's Frazetta for sure.
Dude, I love Frank Frazetta. His art is amazing. But
yeah, Sean said he picked up the castle from an online store.
Okay.
So,
prom laugh before wins.
Yeah. But no, beautiful work there, Stephen. Looks great. Great.
He's gonna get a sunburn for sure.
He is. I think Stephen said that he thought this picture was a little bit washed out. So there's another one in the thread on the Facebook page where he's has a bit more of that tan going on.
I assume this is like COVID. Like this is Conan immediately post-COVID, so he's been inside for a while.
For sure.
So he's like lost his tan, and now he's got to be careful for a little while.
Yep. This is not like after being strung up on the tree of woe for.
No, this is way before that.
Yeah. Exactly. But no, looks great. Beautiful work, everybody. I think, yes, okay. Cool. So, yeah, that's the photos from the Facebook group over the last week. Don't forget to post your photos there for the next 7 weeks. So we have plenty of material when we come back.
And Dave and I pop on and we'll give you guys comments and stuff too. So,
but we will also line up another build, paint, play challenge for season 3. So be prepared for that. Once again, thank you to Scott for the initial idea, and we will take that and run with it. But definitely cool. So next up, we've got 3 images of a project that I'm working on. So I'll present them without too much comment.
Okay, let's see.
Be tantalized.
Prepare to be tantalized.
Prepare to be tantalized. So first one. Ooh, what is that? I wonder. It's taking a little while to come up, obviously.
I'm assuming that is for...
Oh, don't assume what it's for. But you want to have a guess, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think it's for?
Is it for boarding actions?
Maybe. Maybe.
I mean, it definitely could be. Like, you could just build those things.
And there's another picture.
Okay. Again, I'm thinking it's boarding actions. Unless you're doing Space Hulk.
And then there's another picture. And
oh, dude, are you doing a full table of Space Hulk?
And then scene.
It's Space Hulk. Don't give me that.
It should be. Hopefully, people will like it. There's going to be a hell of a lot of work between now and then. But
when is that? Is that for Nova?
I think its first appearance will probably be at Gen Con. So
nice. Is that and that's for someone?
That's for somebody.
Is it for a person or for a company that we know?
It's for a company that we know.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah.
make sure you hide a Blood Angel symbol in there somewhere.
Hide a Blood Angel symbol? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try and fit one in there. But no, it's there's a lot of work to go on that one. I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna be super cool once it's all done. But yeah,
I always enjoyed Space Hulk. It's such a great game, and the models are awesome. There was so much detail when they redid the new one that has the Blood Angels in it.
Right.
And that was when they first released the Tyranid Broodlord.
Yep.
Like that model's awesome. And there's actually, believe it or not, there's new Gene Stealers in that box.
Yeah.
There's a bunch.
Yep.
There's a bunch that are different than all the other ones.
I'm looking at. So I got 2 copies over there.
Mine is right there.
Yep. Did you get that? Was that the one you got from me, or did you got the one you got from me? Was
so that was when I wasn't working for GW,
right?
And it got re-released, and I missed the launch.
Yep.
And then I was talking to friends of mine, and somebody, I think it was like Big Kev or somebody, was like, "Oh yeah, I picked up Space Hulk," and I was like, "Oh, I'll have to get it," and then nobody had it.
Right.
I called all the Warhammer stores I knew, all the stores that carried it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it was a launch from a couple of months ago. Like, we don't have any." And I was like, "This is like, somebody's got to have it." And people were selling it online, but I was like, I'm not going to pay $400 for a copy. So, do you remember the Wiz?
Like the.
So the Wiz was a big.
You mean the version of Wizard of Oz with Michael Jackson?
No, not
that one. Okay, radio.
So there was a big store out in Westboro called the Wiz.
Okay.
And I know that they were like one of the biggest trade accounts. Yep. And the only reason I remember is because at the time when I worked for the company, our district manager Shauna would come up. And Sean would then go visit the guys at the Wiz because they were a huge account. So I called them because I knew the owner from when I had worked, because they were the closest store to me. So I called the owner and was like, "Hey, I'm looking to get a copy of Space Hulk." And he's like, "Oh, I don't have any left." And then he called me back like 15 minutes later, and he's like, I have our open store copy, and I was like, is it missing anything? He's like, I don't think so. He's like, I'd give it to you for like 20% off. And I was like, sweet. So I got it for slightly less than what it should have been. But like the shrink wrap was off of it. I was like, I don't care. And then my buddy Dave afterwards, gave me another full set of the Blood Angels one. So I have like 2 full sets of the minis.
Excellent.
But yeah, those models are awesome. There's also that really cool, like, I guess it's an objective piece. It's like it's the dead Terminator in the throne.
Oh, sure, yeah. He's awesome.
That model's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely great. I like.
There's that weird drone too. There's that weird little robo drone thing.
The cat. Yep.
Yeah, that thing's awesome.
I think probably best one there is Matt Ball's suggestion: Inquisitor scale 40k dungeon bowl. Love it.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be insane.
Cool. Excellent. Space Hulk needs to be an evergreen product. Agreed, Josh. And Scott says, I have 2 copies of Space Hulk and 2 copies of Cursed City. Bow to your sensei.
Yeah, but how many copies of Blackstone Fortress do you have?
I don't know.
I need to get a copy of Blackstone. that was one of the things where like I was like, oh, like I'll just be able to get this, and then they sold out, and then they sold out of all the expansions, and I was like, this is just stupid.
Yeah.
My buddy Dave Pappas owns all of it, so if I ever want to play it, he has everything. But
if you ever want
talk
to
about
own
another, you talk about a weird game where they're like, let's just discontinue this, and I was like, why? It's super fun.
Yep. Excellent. If Hasbro can put Hero Quest in retail for 130, maybe GW? Know what I mean? Nice one. Excellent. Okay. Well, I think that brings us to the end of episode 20 of season 2. Anything
Pretty
else
good.
we need to talk about? Are we all good?
No, I'd like to thank the Academy and all of our fans and Dave's family, and we couldn't have done this without you guys. And
Absolutely.
thank you guys so much.
And thank you to your lovely wife.
I will pass that along.
And your pets.
Oh yeah, the girls, they're all upstairs watching TV. So
excellent. And your Mandalorian helmet.
Oh yeah. Did I show you my newest one?
Your newest one?
Oh, yeah. Hang on.
It's not the one from last week. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I thought we were going to finish, but I should never have mentioned anything extra, right? Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. Fantastic. Okay, we will say goodnight to everybody. Thank you, everybody who's joined us in the chat. Thank you, everybody who watched the show. Again, yes, subscribe, hit the notification bell, click like, leave a comment, all of the fun stuff. Thank you very much, everybody. We will be back in 7 weeks. Have a great time. But of course, we'll still be on the Facebook.
Yeah. And like I said, we might pop on and do like a mini episode or something. So
yeah, cool. Okay.
But thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks, and enjoy your summer. And we will talk to you soon. Be safe.
And don't forget. Build. Paint. Play.
Shut up and sit down. sit down.